Hello, Aspie Hyena here. Welp, turns out Scruff and myself have been squatting on private property, which just so happens to be owned by our former landlord. Fortunately, I survived a beating and promised if I couldn't pay the fee, Scruff would, in a proverbial sense, by donating his kneecaps. Please don't hurt me! Kill Scruff. He's the one who misuses my finances. Plus, he always works out a scheme to save us in the final act.
What's he got that you ain't, besides a spine?
Bad wind?
Excuse me.
Hey, pipe it down! Jesus H. Christ! Sue me, wise ass. You finished in there? Gee, shut the door! Damn!
I wouldn't go in there for a while if I were you. Summer is still cancelled!
Oh, let's go, Scruff.
Hey, don't forget the capo.
Silence, you generic background noise cliche! That's better. Give me a leg up. And I don't mean stick a leg in the air. Yeah, put me finger, claw. No thanks. Come on, I got plenty of wind in me. I can fly. How the hell does a skinny, scruffy stick insect midget of a hyena contain an endless supply of wind? It's the rainforests I'm concerned for. Yours is just as loud.
Let's change the subject. We need to get a move on.
Let me rest a while. 5 minutes. How far have we come? A gradient of less than 10 meters. Set up camp. But we just packed up the camping gear at the bottom of the hill. Then you can set it up when you reach the top. And while you're up there, send down the rope so you can pull me up. You make me do all the hard work. Yeah. I'm the alpha male. Hyenas have no alpha male. We're a matriarchal society. All males are omegas. Which makes me the alpha omega, and you the omega omega. Or the omega of omegas, or however you phrase it. Now get a move on and make a fire. I'm famished. What's this? Supper? It looks like something scraped off the floor underneath where pigeons roost. No. It was scraped off the floor next to a pile of cow pat. What? Mushrooms! Protein! Protein from a fungus grown from cow dung? Correction! Protein from a fungus fertilised by cow dung. There's a difference. I washed them thoroughly. How do you know they're not poisonous? Who cares? We hyenas have strong stomachs. We can digest anything. I'd rather digest a joint of roast beef or a thick slab of sirloin steak. Oh, why couldn't you catch a calf? A calf? Just a weak, skinny one. I'm not too fussed. You mean you could eat a poor defenceless baby animal? I couldn't care less if it was an able-bodied bull. I want me some red meat, now go fetch. Me fetch? What do you take me for? Carnivore? Then why you go out and hunt? Because I'm tired, and it's the Omega's job. You're lower ranking, therefore you go fetch me grub. Nah, I'm content. Well, I'm not. Get your own then. Fine, I will. Please give me a calf. Nope. Oh, come on, Scruff. I'll share. I'm content with what I got. Well, I'm not. And I don't know how to hunt. Plus, it's all dark and scary. Sissy. Oh, if I want for my bird back, I'd clobber you, you mangy, scruffy Scruff. That's my name. Good night, Asp. Help yourself to some mushroom stew if you're still hungry. But I hate mushrooms. The texture is slimy, the colour unappealing, and the taste is just... ugh. Not to mention where it grew from. Plus, it gives me terrible wind. Excuse ya.
Told you I hated mushrooms. Cool, can I open the window?
We ain't got windows. This a tent.
Can I open the flap?
And catch cold?
It's the middle of summer. What could go wrong?
Forgot about the fickle weather. Old meat tire. Thanks, but I think we should go to our own separate sleeping bags. This is my sleeping bag. No, it's mine. You only bought the one, didn't you? You made me carry all the luggage. Exactly. I got a weak spine. But I read you a bedtime story. Scruff, I'm a coward, not a baby. Say, what's this? The creepy cult of Cthulhu. Come on, let's do it. Oh, so now you want to be read a bedtime story. I'm just curious. Fine. In his house under the sea, dead Cthulhu sleeps, with dreams of inflicting agony and madness. You sure you want me to read this? I'll keep you awake all night if you don't. If I do carry on reading, you may never want to sleep again. Ignorance is bliss. When consulting matters of the unknown, the mysteries of the universe are far beyond mortal understanding, but a brief glimpse of the one true reality is enough to drive one to madness. We are fragile creatures in mind and body, for we were not meant to dwell far beyond our limits. But the dreaded cult of Cthulhu offered that most terrible of revelations. The crew of the fishy Dagon were led by the dastardly Captain Yellowbeard. Hang on, what's this got to do with pirates? And don't you mean the fishy dragon? Who's telling the story? Thank you. In his quest for eternal life, Yellowbeard sought the unholy power of the Necronomicon. As they weighed anchor upon these shores, a sense of foreboding shivered through the entire crew of coursers. Hey, that looks like where we're camped! Shut up. The trees leered in at them like cadaverous talons. The wind sighed deathly warning, beckoning them to leave. The book was said to be in the possession of a native voodoo priest. However, Yellowbeard was a reputed cutthroat who repaid his debts by cutting the throats of friend and foe alike. But he didn't do any of that. No, instead he sold out his entire crew to the native tribe in exchange for the book, and they were all sacrificed to Cthulhu in the end.
That was a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's an unofficial entry in the Cthulhu mythos. These are stories inspired by the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, but this one was never published. Come to think of it, it's little more than an unfinished fan fiction written by some local talentless hack.
So how'd the captain set sail without his crew?
He didn't. He remained on the island for the rest of his days, driven mad by his new immortality. At least that's what this post-it note says. Passing sailors claim they can still hear his mad cackles from the depths of the glen, muttering forbidden incantations. When one of these spells last awoke Cthulhu, he sated his hunger by eating the natives, leaving only the rats and gulls to inhabit this barren rock. But he lays in wait for a pair of unsuspecting, smelly, scruffy scoundrels to stumble upon his tomb.
That's one heck of a footnote. Look here. It says outsiders and trespassers are forbidden to set foot on this land, lest the undead pirates and natives be awakened to cut off their heads and stick them on pikes. Ain't a pike some kind of fish?
No, it's a steak.
What kind? Fillet, sirloin or rump?
Steak, as in a wooden pole, you imbecile.
Hang on, how could he be undead? Didn't he eat all the pirates and natives?
Don't know. Guess he wasn't much of a writer to leave that big of a plot hole.
Say, Asp, suppose he was writing about real events and got his head lopped off before he could finish.
That's quite an assumption. Whatever drew you to that conclusion?
Resume position, Asp.
What position?
We grab hold of each other as what I just described emerges from the flap of the tent.
Oh, that!
Well, that's all we got time for.
Please subscribe for more content. Hopefully some Deus Ex Machina will save our smelly hides from whatever terror awaits in the next episode. Until then, we've got a pair of lungs each
And our smelly buttholes to vacate. I'm Scruff.
and I'm the Aspie Hyena.
Saying...
Oh, excuse us. So you later.